both here, standing on business with no fear. I mean that. It's the ring champs when the smoke clears.
What up, fight fans? It's your boy Ak.
And I'm Barak the Boxing Bully.
And it's another episode of the Ring Champs at the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. This is our new home. We're bringing the show on the road, and we're joined by one of my favorite fighters today. I don't even know how he makes 168 pounds. He's the new star, Mr. Hamzah Sheeraz.
How's it going, guys?
You was squeezing down to 160.
For real, yeah. What, one fight ago? Yeah, man.
Crazy.
It's mad. When you think about it, it's crazy.
I know.
What was your weight class or your pro debut? Was it 160?
I weighed in at about 148.
What?
Yeah. But bro, I'm skinny now, but I was bones then, bro. I was bones. Yeah, 141.
Could you still crack?
Pardon?
Could you still crack?
Yeah. I had that, you know, that freakish skinny power.
Yeah.
I had that.
Yeah, Tommy Hearns type of thing.
That's it, like that. Yeah. So,
wow.
148. Then I went up to, I won my first title at 154. Campaigned there for about two years. Then 160, now 168.
Yeah, you know, since the Edgar Berlanga fight, now, you impressed me during the Ammo Williams fight, right? Like, that's when I had watched it before, but I said, all right, he has something special, right? You had what some say is a hiccup with Carlos Adames. Now, I'll tap on that real quick.
Yep.
Do you want to get your lick back with him because of the negative criticism about people saying that, oh, I think the fight should have went the other way? Do you have motivation?
100%.
Yeah.
As a fighter, you have that, don't you?
Right.
You have that, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him up at 168 soon. So, yeah, man, that's definitely a fight I'd welcome with open arms, man. And it's one of them where it's an ego thing. Do you know what I mean? It's an ego thing. Like, I could easily say, yeah, that's dead and buried, and I want to move on.
You don't need him.
Exactly, but it'd be good to show what I can really do at the weight I belong at.
Yes.
Right.
So 168, phenomenal performance against Edgar, and I guess because, you know, his, bravado leading up to the fight made the fight even bigger, and people didn't expect what they saw. When you went back home, did things change? Yeah,
for real, man. Like, I got a lot more kind of respect. I got a lot more like, okay, this kid's like, he can do something. Do you know what I mean? Just like you said, because no one expected it.
Right.
And especially coming off that performance against Adames, when I took the fight, listen, I was getting phone calls left, right, and centre. Don't take the fight.
Right.
You don't need to risk it.
Right.
You're young. You can build your way up.
Who's saying all of this?
There was just like I get like family members, a couple of like team members at the time.
Wow.
And it wasn't in a way.
Wait, you said at the time.
Yeah.
Those team members are gone now?
Yeah, since then and now there's been a few changes.
Oh my gosh.
But
because of what they said?
No.
Oh,
that was coming from a good place from them though. And I get it, I understand it.
Got
it was,
you.
You go young, build yourself up, but there's no fun in not taking risks and playing it safe. Like we're in a environment now where fighters are getting well paid.
Yeah.
The best are fighting the best, so why not live up to the expectation?
Right. You know, one thing Edgar said in that lead-up, he said, I'm your Canelo. Did you feel like that in a way because of his popularity, because of all of those knockouts he had?
At the time, no, not really. Okay. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really see it. But after the fight, I see it.
He was your Canelo.
Yeah, after the fight, I see it because...
Because your life changed.
Yeah, it can be, like I said, I got a lot of American media and a lot of American press as well. And I'm a young fighter who grew up watching a lot of American boxing. I watched British boxing as well, but...
Ain't nothing like American boxing.
Exactly. For real, man, you're talking to Oscar De La Hoya's, the Floyd Mayweathers, watching the HBO 24/7s.
Yeah.
And yeah, I grew up on this, so to get the recognition and ultimately the respect of the American fans as well as the British fans, it's kind of a pinch myself moment.
Right.
Did you go into that fight saying, I need a knockout because I'm on his soil?
Not really. I went in there with, I got nothing to lose now. I got nothing to lose. Yeah, that was my mentality because... I thought, bro, listen, I've come off my worst performance. I can only get better.
Right.
I can only get better. So I went in there and enjoyed it, bro. I soaked it up. I lived in the moment when I got in that ring and I done what I done.
I think I saw him post something about we're gonna do this later or something like that. So if he wants the rematch, would you give it to him?
If it made sense, if he had a title or... See, the thing, it wasn't even remotely a close fight. If it was a close fight, then I'd say, yeah, let's run it back.
Right.
Okay.
But respectfully, he got wiped out.
Let's address the elephant in the room, the crazy internet rumors after that fight. Because I didn't even remember that till just now, about the hand wraps and all that nonsense. Like, look, and Edgar's our dude, like, you know, known him since he was young. I didn't agree with those allegations, but like, where were you when you first got the call or saw the post? Like,
it was 2 days later. I remember.
Right, it was so fast.
Yeah, it was 2 days later, and I see it, and I was like, "What?" I go, "Surely not, man! Like, come on, man."
This is a joke.
Yeah, and then people obviously were jumping on it and in speculations, left, right, and centre. But it was interesting. I got a phone call. I used to train at the Tengus gym in Los Angeles.
Right.
And I got on with Jonathan Wally. Okay. He's in Mario's corner tonight, actually.
Yeah, he is.
And he called me, he goes, "Yo," he goes, "that's how you know you made it in America, when they start accusing you of your hand rips." As a British fighter.
Funny, though. And they were saying because you didn't take one of the wraps off. Explain to the people why that happened sometimes.
So if you look in the ring, my coach, he took off my right hand wrap, then the commission comes. Right. And he goes, "You're not meant to do this until you get in the changing room." So he goes, "Leave it on." And that was it.
That was it. That simple.
Yeah,
there's your explanation.
There's nothing more or less to it. It was that, yeah.
Oh, you just hit hard.
Yeah, that clearly, evidently.
168. Was this your second?
That was my first.
That was your first fight at 168. You talked about loving America and American fighters. Yeah. What fighters inspired you from America? Like, what fighters did you really, really enjoy watching?
Do you know, it was... I think the biggest for me would be Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, that kind of era, because that was when boxing was kind of at its... And I'm not disrespecting anyone now, but that was when I believe boxing was at its purest form.
But that's before you were a kid, so you were watching old tapes.
Yeah, I was watching old tapes. Right. And then me, when I was growing up, like I mentioned, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather was a big one, mostly because of his, like I said, his documentaries, his razzmatazz he brought to the sport. It wasn't so much I was a kid and just watching boxing. It was like, cool, man, this guy's living the life and.
Seeing them on 24/7, exactly. All access and all of that.
And ultimately, back then, what you saw was just the boxing. And he was, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the first fighters who showed the life behind the boxer.
Yes, indeed.
So I found that very, very...
He made that famous.
Exactly, and I found that very intriguing. Then I started watching other boxers, Shane Mosley, and all these guys. So, yeah, man, a lot of them.
Yeah. What up, fight fans? It's your boy Ak, and we've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, the ultimate destination for betting on big fights coming your way this year. The Mexican Monster is fighting another Mexican monster named Ramirez. Barak,
we're not going to just be throwing this monster word around like that.
I know,
no, we're not doing that.
You're talking about a big Mexican as well.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
big
nice,
monster.
but he's not a monster, though.
Either way, some people are saying this might be Benavidez's biggest test.
I think guys like Caleb Plant were tough for fight. He didn't stop him, but he beat Caleb Plant. But a guy who's not going to be right in front of his face, there to get hit and has good legs, those are the guys that Benavidez have a little bit more trouble with. But I heard about the sparring wars that they had. Man, I can't wait to see this one.
I have to agree with you, Barak, but I don't think Zerto has enough for David Benavidez. I could be wrong, but either way, you have to tune in to find out.
We partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook to give you guys an incredible offer. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. The crown is yours. Use our promo code ATSFights.
DraftKings has something for every sports fan. So what are you waiting for? Hurry up, go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. And make sure you use the promo code ATSFights. Level up your fight night experience.
You know, since you're a fan of the sport, we was asking a lot of people, because this was a discussion with us. I hate this question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm about to say then.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather in his prime versus Crawford in his prime.
Terence Crawford.
I was watching that.
I can't judge because it's two of the best fighters. I think two the best fighters of all time, those two.
It's very, 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 very hard to call, but I'd have to go with Floyd, bro.
Really?
Yeah. Really? And I think that's just me playing my cards safe. Because ultimately Floyd's Floyd, but...
I couldn't go against Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
I mean, Floyd has been in close fights. Some even say he lost a couple of them. Castillo won, Maidana won very close.
Yeah.
You know, but has never been in a close fight. And he just the switch hitting, the power, the strength. But again, it's a fantasy fight, so we'll never know. I mean, those dudes should. It's okay to mention those two guys in the same sentence.
Yeah.
You know, obviously. So I have to ask you about your countryman, Conor Benn, because everybody's talking about it, right? From our lens, right, it appeared that the relationship with him and Matchroom and Eddie was phenomenal. That of Anthony Joshua and Matchroom type of relationship.
That's the way it was portrayed.
Right,
in the media,
exactly. Started his pro career, right?
Yeah.
And this comes out of nowhere, right? Out of left field. Just give me your assessment of Eddie's response, just the whole thing, man.
Yeah, so when the news first come out, it was as a shock to as me as it was to anyone else, and I was like, yo, man, what's going on here?
Right.
Yeah. Then I watched a couple of Eddie's interviews and listened to kind of his breakdown. And I was talking to a couple of my friends, and we were breaking it down. I said, ultimately, if that was me, what would I do?
Right.
And it's such a big offer he got from Zuffa that ultimately you can't turn it down.
Right.
Let's be honest here.
Of course.
It's a big offer.
Yeah.
It's a big platform, and it just wipes out everything else. But ultimately, Eddie Hearn was with Conor when he failed his drug test.
Right.
Like he said, he loaned him a lot of money. And from what the media showed, they go back a long time and they're very, very tight. From what we saw.
Right, of course.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then the conclusion I come down to, if I was Conor, I would have sat with Eddie and I said, yo, this is the offer I've got. And if they were two true friends as tight as I say they would, what would you do? As a friend, you say, you know what? Thanks for telling me. Take it. Go for it. You have my full support.
Of course.
And
maybe Eddie would have.
No, not maybe, because if you think about the past, he's done that before already with Canelo and other guys where, like, go get the money, and then hopefully you come back.
Did it with Devin and allowing him to go.
That's
get
what
the
I'm saying.
title.
Now, it might not have been, how he expected it to happen, but regardless, he's done that before.
Exactly. So
but we still got to hear Conor's side.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Maybe it's that simple. Who knows?
Yeah, there's always two sides to the story, isn't there? There always is. There always is, but...
Well, they say three, the two sides and the truth.
The side that no one sees. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I mean, again, I think I'm with you on it because we don't know if there's something else, but if... for face value, you would think that Conor should have just sat down with him and said, yo, this is too good of an offer. Like, I'm assuming that's how you would have handled it.
Yeah, that's what I put myself in his shoes.
He said he would do the exact same thing.
Judging him on the outside, thinking, yo, this, that, the other.
So seeing that, do you say, damn, they got that much money? I hope they give me a call.
Do you know what it is at the minute? I'll be very honest with you, I'm happy with my promoter in Frank Warren, in Queensberry Promotion. Yeah. What they've done for me, stuck by my side, they've delivered. So, touch wood, and alhamdulillah, so far everything's going well, man. Right. So I'd be a bit silly to kind of break away from that as for now.
With that being said, has there ever been a point in your career where you said, damn, Matchroom is not looking bad over there? Like when they were hot in AJ, they brought the zone to America, Matchroom was on fire. Did you ever have like, and this is not a shot at Frank. You're obviously showing you happy, right? But honestly speaking, did you ever think about how it would look with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom?
In all honesty, no. I didn't really. I've not really had a wandering eye in terms of other promoters, and whether that's because I've been so concentrated on my own career and achieving my own goals, ultimately, who I'm with doesn't really matter as much as it should matter.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Right.
I understand it's a business.
Yeah.
I understand that you got X, Y, Z problems coming with the sport, but I think I'm just so fixated on becoming a world champion that for now, all of that stuff is just sidelined. Do you see what I mean? There's no point in me going around and saying, I want to be this promoter, I want to be that promoter, I haven't won a world title yet, bro. And that's the ultimate truth. I'm not one of these fighters who sugarcoat it, saying, I've done this, I've done that, and I ain't got a world title. Ultimately, I want to win world titles.
You friends with Ben Whittaker?
Yeah, we got the same coach, haven't we?
Right. No, but I'm saying sometimes people have the same coach. They're not necessarily close friends.
No, he's cool. He's cool.
So he made that jump and that switch. Did you guys ever have a conversation about that?
No, we never had a conversation. But that jump for him was always coming because the kid's a superstar. He does numbers. He sells a lot, and the promoter he had at the time wasn't doing him any justice. Right. See, for me, I can't sit here and say that because I feel my promoter has done me justice. Right. He's got me on big platforms. He's got me working with Riyadh Season and whatnot. Right. So, for me, it's working.
It's working.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes Turki Alishek, like I said before, he's truthful, so he says who he wants to win.
Yeah.
You know, he's putting the fight together, standing right in front of the two guys and saying,
ain't nothing but the truth.
I know, it's beautiful. So, you was one of the guys he was saying that he wants to win, even though he showed Edgar love and everything. Yeah. You won. Yeah. So now, what's the plan? What's his plan now?
The plan. I'll be honest with you. I've said yes to 2 fights. The Mbilli fight got ordered for the WBC.
Christian Mbilli.
Yeah, that got ordered. That was the first fight that got ordered.
Right.
And then along comes Canelo and says, "I want Mbilli." So.
Canelo said that?
Yeah, that got
scratched.
That got it got ordered by the WBC, and then they kind of scrapped the order and ordered.
How do you take the order back? Take the order
I know. It was one of them. It's whatever. I was in a good position because when that happened, I got ordered to face Diego Pacheco for the WBO title, in which I said yes to both fights.
We know which one we don't know which one you'd rather have. Which one would you rather have?
I'll be very honest with you, any of them. And it was, to me...
Between Pacheco and who?
And Mbilli. Did it upset you when... Oh, say, go ahead, finish.
To me, it was a first-come, first-served basis. Whoever they offered first, I would have said yes to the fight.
Right.
Give me a fight, let's go.
Did you get upset when you got that? Oh, man, he took the order back because Canelo...
I was a bit like, come on, man, you know what I mean? I just... a couple of weeks before that, I paid my sanctioning fees that was due for, I think, the Edgar Berlanga fight. Right. So I paid that.
And what belt is that? That is an interim, or what
it was? That? You know, I don't think it was even a belt. It was more to get me in the because the belt was meant to be online. Then something happened. I don't know what happened, but anyway, I paid my sanctioning fees, and a couple of weeks later, my order got kind of revoked. But it is what it is. It don't matter. And then, literally a couple of days later, or if not the same day, even the Pacheco fight got ordered, and. You had Eddie Hearn, you had Pacheco doing interviews, we want the Hamzah Sheeraz fight, we want the Hamzah Sheeraz fight. But I think they were calling my bluff. Okay. Because when Hamzah Sheeraz said yes,
wait a minute.
He pulled out of the order for the fight. So where I'm at now is I'm due to fight for the WBO belt. It's been mandated against a German, I don't know his name, but the ball's in Frank Warren's court now.
It's a vacant title.
It's a vacant title. So the ball's in Frank Warren's court now. I said yes to all the fights. Now it's just Frank, George and Queensberry making the fight happen.
Now let's rewind real quick. Early Hamzah's life, right? Because at one point you almost left boxing, right? For good, like you were done, you were trying to be an electrician. You know, I'm looking at this in hindsight, like he's such a star, like, and almost we wouldn't have had this. Why did you think about walking away from the sport after spending so many years as an amateur?
Yeah, so ultimately, to start with how I got into the sport was my uncle was a fighter.
And he was decorated amateur, won a lot of titles.
Yeah, he won 7 or 8 national titles. Right. He done very well. And so it was like, I always used to hear about my uncle, he's this, he's that. And I was like, let's have a go at doing what he was doing.
So he got you into it?
Yeah. What's the age at the time?
I was 8 years old.
Okay.
8 years old, so I walked into a boxing gym, loved it, was doing it for 3 years, and then my father went to prison, and then he was in and out of prison until I was about 16, 17. And the last stretch he done was kind of the hardest because at the same time I'm trying to build a boxing career, I needed to help pay the bills at home. Do you see what I mean? So that's how I got into the electrician side of things, because I needed to make money. So I started doing that.
As a teenager?
Yeah, as a teenager.
So what's up, school? You dropped out?
I dropped out, yeah.
What grade?
When I was 16, so I don't know how that works in American.
Oh, right, I got you.
Then I started trying to make a bit of money, as in do the electrical apprenticeship, and I was trying to do boxing at the same time, and I was fighting for the national team. And I was meant to go to the Commonwealth Games, done a camp, and I didn't get picked. So I was like, bro, forget this. You know what I mean? Forget this. Like this is long now. Then I started focusing on just doing electrical work.
That's what happens when you have grown man problems, which is bills and stuff like that, and a family.
But it matured me, man. Like 16, 17, trying to pay your family bills, and I got a big family as well. So seeing my mum trying to survive and do that as well, it was just as hard. Do you know what I mean?
How many siblings did you have?
I've got Three.
And are you the oldest?
I'm the second.
So were you and your father close? Did you guys have a close relationship?
Yeah.
So when he was in prison, did you speak to him often?
Yeah, we used to. So the first couple stretch he done was in the UK, so it would be easier to see him. And then the second one he done was in the last stretch. Sorry, he done was in Belgium. So we had to like travel once a month to go see him, and then I'd catch up with him, say, yo, like this is the sketch, this is what's happening, update him. So it was a very like I had to mature. I had to mature very, very quickly.
Was he okay with you walking away from the sport?
Yeah, because I told him straight. I go, yo, like,
what about your uncle that got you into it?
He was cool. He just said, listen, if you just do what you got to do, really. Because ultimately, if I chose to do the boxing, the bills won't get paid.
Yeah, but what about the dream and the idea of this can pay the bills and more one day?
I chose to go down the route of kind of the traditional 9 to 5.
Get the money right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really, because look where we're sitting.
No, thank God. Yeah, thanks to God. But then one day I was working in a famous soccer player's apartment, and I was fixing his lights and his sockets, bro. And then my ego kicked in.
What was his name?
Eden Hazard. He used to play for Chelsea. And then I was thinking, like, yo, what am I doing, man? Like, oh, this could be my apartment.
Right.
You see what I mean? So my ego kicked in.
Okay.
And I remember, and I was like, I was there fixing the sockets, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to take a risk. And then I finished the day's work, and then I said to my boss at the time, I said, yo, I ain't coming back. Like,
Really?
I said, I'm done, yeah. I said,
went
that
back
was
to
the same
boxing
day.
gym.
I wouldn't call that ego. I just said that's your desire.
Your desire,
You know,
yeah.
your desire.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
really
he's talking
an
about ego with the apartment.
Yeah.
No, but that's not him. That's not him having an ego because he wants
desire
that.
is a better word
Yeah,
for it, actually.
you wanted that. You aspired to have that.
Yeah.
You said you believe in yourself. You could have that.
Yeah, so
You went and bet on yourself.
done that. About 2 days later, I went back to the boxing gym, and these times I've got a bit bigger. As in physically, and I've matured a little bit. So as I walked into the gym, I'm hitting the bags, and then the pros at the time, they'll look at me, and then they asked me to be a sparring partner, and I was like, cool. They're like, we'll pay you. So I was like, whatever. And then I went over to Spain, and then Frank Warren was there, or his son, I can't remember, and they see me spar. And then they offered me a contract.
Really?
That
Just
fast?
watching you spar?
Within like 6 weeks.
Damn.
Wow, from
Just
you
like-
leaving that electrician
like that,
job.
yeah.
So what were you doing sparring in Spain though?
But I literally, after I finished the electric work,
Right.
I went to the boxing gym, and they wanted me as a sparring partner, like I said, and I was giving them good work. So when I was giving them good work, their camps used to be based in Spain.
Okay.
So they said, come, we'll fly you out, we'll pay you, just give us the rounds. And that's what I was doing.
Hold on, did the electrician company you was working, did they owe you any money? Was
No,
there
no,
a
no,
check
no, that
pending?
was-
No
that
check
was-
pending?
No,
This is what you asked this guy.
Can you still collect that last week?
I'm saying, give
Get
me that last week.
check.
Yeah, no, they were up to date. They were up to date. So
What
it's cool.
kind of advice would your father give you when you go to visit him? Because that's a tough moment when a father is looking at his son.
Yeah.
He don't want you to be here.
Yeah.
But he obviously, this is his second or third stretch.
Yeah.
So he's still doing the wrong things to get him there.
Yeah.
And now you're there looking at him in prison. So what was his kind of advice, and how did you look at him?
Do you know what is, because it used to be, I used to see him a lot inside. You got to remember, I started when I was, visit him when I was young. So you could see him trying to just like brush it under the carpet every time, brush it under the
What you
carpet.
mean?
Not
What
talk
you mean?
about it?
Like-
Yeah, not talk about it. So you go visit him, and then he'd like just not speak about it really. Just like almost act as if
This is not prison.
Yeah,
like
This is college. This is college. Welcome to my dorm.
I'm on holiday.
You know, in the hood, that's what people tell the kids when they're real little.
Yeah.
Oh, your father's away in school, but he's really, he's up north. He's locked up.
So then it got to a point where he had to start speaking about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then it was a very mature conversation. It wasn't a conversation like we're having now. It was more dropped in subtle hints every time I'd go visit him.
So
He'd
it
be
wasn't
like,
you asking him questions?
No. It would just come out naturally in conversation. Because I know it sounds a bit weird, but I almost got used to it. Do you know what I mean? It almost become a very normal thing.
Yeah.
It become a very normal thing, and I'd be like, cool, we'll go see him now. And then he'd drop little things like, okay, how's this going? How's that going? Questions you don't really ask a young man.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Is this sorted? Is that sorted, etc.? How's the boxing? And then it kind of just, it forms very naturally. It forms extremely naturally. And then before you know it, you're like 17, 18 and just about to turn pro. So just like that.
And how old were you when he came out for the last time?
For the last, I was just before I turned 18.
And now is he back in your life?
Yeah, he's here, bro.
Ever
since then, when he come out of his last stretch, he done a bit of delivery work, a bit of Amazon work, and then when he could afford to stop that, he's been with me ever since.
Obviously, he was doing something to make money.
Yeah.
That's why he got locked up.
Yeah.
Do you feel like now that the potential for you to make money probably saved his life?
Yeah, most definitely, because it takes that stress, it takes that, this is my only way to make a lot of money at the time. Mm-hmm. It takes that away from you, doesn't it? Because you think, right, if I put my energy in my son and all my focus into my son, it's a long vision thing. Where if I truly believe in him, if I give him the best opportunity, he'll get far, and even if he doesn't make it, he can't turn around and say, we didn't give it our best shot.
We didn't try. Yeah. But did you have, was there a point where you were disappointed and had any resentment for not being there during that stretch?
You know what, I'll be honest, I never had any resentment. Never, ever had any resentment, because I understood what he was trying to do. And ultimately, it's provide.
Right.
Yeah, because it come down to money at the end of the day, right? So, no, I never resented him.
Your siblings feel the same way?
Pardon?
Your siblings, they feel the same way?
Yeah. My two younger siblings, they were too young to even comprehend what was happening, but my oldest sister, she was kind of with me on decisions we made together.
What about your mom?
My mum, I say I've learned a lot of my resilience and my strength from her, because seeing her struggle, seeing her cry on a regular basis, seeing her almost panic on how to pay bills and whatnot, it gave me a lot of strength. At the time, it's hard, bro, because like you're young, you're trying to, like I said, understand, and then you eventually do understand, and there's nothing you can do about it, so it's extremely frustrating at the time. But yeah, so everything I do now is ultimately for her.
For them. And when was the point where you went to your mom and said, you don't have to worry about anything anymore?
This was probably after, I think it was the Emma Williams fight.
Oh, right.
I think it was then. Yeah, I think.
But wait a minute, because he kind of said two things there.
What?
Did you go home and say you don't have to work anymore?
Yeah, was she working?
Yeah, she was working. She was a social worker.
You retired her?
Yeah.
That day, you was like, you're done.
How does that feel?
That's it. It was cool. She was like...
What was her reaction to that? I mean, did she see it coming anyway?
It was, yeah, she saw it coming, and it was... When you see the dream becoming a reality, you see it happening anyway. So it's not so much a shock, like we sit down, like, you can finish work now.
Oh, right.
It wasn't that, it was like a gradual thing.
Right.
And it was like, okay, cool, in 2 or 3 fights, I think like...
What kind of mother is she? Is she the kind that she don't really mention about getting things and stuff like that, or she's the one that, you better get me a big house, you better get me a nice car, you better...
Nah, she's cool, she's chill, she's totally chill, yeah. She supports me in any decision I make.
I'm the pocket watcher here, that's what they call me, pocket watcher, right? So at least let me know what was...
That's not a good thing. He loves it. He loves it.
I embrace it.
At least he owns it.
Yeah, I own it. I ask about money, but no, seriously, what was the first big gift that you bought your parents with, or if it's 2 separate gifts, your mother, your father, when you knew you could afford it with no issues?
Yeah, probably a car and a watch, bro.
A car and a watch.
Yeah, I know it sounds a bit obnoxious of me, but the standard, the usual a fighter would...
No, watches are great gift.
No, but when you're a little kid, you want to buy your mother stuff like that. You want to buy a car, you want to buy a house. Right. Those are things she needs. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that was a kind of a proud moment for me.
Wow. Yeah. I can't imagine that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, if my mother was here, I'm still broke, so I wouldn't have bought you nothing, mommy, but I would have tried.
What about friends? Like, let's talk about it. I talk to fighters all the time about when they're okay with saying no when people are asking for something, and then when you reach a certain level of success, you just so happen to have more friends and cousins and family members, like, you know, that need bills paid. And have you experienced that with a certain level of success where people coming out of nowhere?
You know, when it comes to friends, I've always been very, very, very focused on what I want. So when I've got these new external friends, bro, I just like lock them off straight away. And then ultimately, I can come across a bit rude.
Okay.
But I have no regrets in how I come across to them people, because ultimately, to me, they're a distraction.
But do you have friends that did come up with you that were in the gym when you were 12, 13, 14 years old that are still close?
Not really, no.
No, really?
I got two best mates now, and I met them about 2 years into being a professional. I used to train at one of the local gyms on my time off.
Are they fighters?
No. They're just to work.
And still your friends to this day?
Yeah, still my friends today. They travel with me everywhere.
So they get things paid for.
Yeah, when they can.
When they can.
Yeah, two good guys, man, and like I said, it happened very naturally in a, and I met him in a good environment as well. I met him in the gym. So
why is that? Why don't you think you had like friends growing up as a child?
Because the life I chose to live was very different from what others were living. So we had nothing in common. Do you know what I mean? So when you're 17, 18, and you start going to university and you start partying and you start venturing out into drugs and into different social lives and social circles, I never had that. I never had that.
Bro,
so I could
you
never
act like that's the only place you could find friends.
No, but
you can find friends in the gym everywhere.
But from where I grew up, that was the norm.
That was the norm.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's everybody.
Yeah.
Me too, but I ain't never did that.
Were you one of the young kids that were like eat, sleep, and ish boxing? Like, was that your life where you wouldn't do that because you would be jogging or in the gym?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
That was it. That was it. And that was it. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. I was very boring because I couldn't and my school friends I had growing up with them, when I'd see them out or in the shops and we'd speak, we had nothing in common.
I get your point though.
Yeah,
I get it.
I understood where they were coming from, but I don't think they understood where I was coming from. They were like, whatever.
They see now, they understand now.
He ain't with it, or he's a bit weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel
only
you,
I saw my vision.
I'm joking around, but I feel you. But so when you said, sometimes it could come off as rude.
Yeah.
Because, give me an example of that.
An example would be, let's say after my last 3 fights, you get friends, not friends because they're not my friends, but you get people who have been with other fighters who, in their prime, were their best buddies. And now the same people come around and try latch on to me.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? And I can't mention any names and whatnot, but whoever's watching this, they'll know. They'll know what I'm on about.
Don't mention the people,
Yeah.
but would you be able to mention the fighter?
No, I can't, because then that gives
do that? It gives that away
that
too?
gives I know, I can't.
So would it be somebody we know?
Right, well,
someone
I know
everyone
everybody,
knows.
but I'm saying...
Someone everyone knows.
So that means that fighter is not in his prime anymore. He kind of fell off a little bit, took a loss or something.
He's trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
Sherlock Holmes.
No, I'm not. I want to know... No, because
listen,
listen, I want to know, did it take them to lose? Did it take... What? What did it take for them to leave them and try to come to you is what I'm saying.
It took them to kind of finish off and kind of come on like a
decline?
Not even a decline, just like a...
so now they want to hook on to you.
Yeah, and then you see it, I see it. Yeah. So I don't...
All right, so what's the actual response you have for them?
No, so they'll come and I'll say I give it off my energy. I won't say, no, I don't want to be friends with you.
Okay,
no one says that, you know what I mean? So just
you give them the cold shoulder.
Off my,
So you know.
And then they'll go around and say, yo, that guy's a dickhead.
Funny style.
You're not saying the name, and that's cool, and I respect that. But if they're gonna watch, they're gonna know that you're talking about them. Yeah. You don't care.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, because the person themselves is cool. Like who I'm on about is cool.
Yeah.
It's the people around them.
Did you experience any weirdness from anybody after the Carlos Adames fight? In your camp, or even like...
If you look at the circle I had around me before that fight and the circle I have now...
A lot smaller now?
Yeah, a lot smaller. And I wouldn't say it's because I drew and whatnot, but I think they were trying to latch on to the hype that I was building up, not understanding that blips can happen.
Yeah.
It's part of the sport.
Right.
And ultimately, when they happen, it's the people who are with you then that are the real ones.
In the dressing room, walking home, and telling you to keep your head up, like that's just a little hiccup.
The next day, right?
Even how many phone calls you get on that. Like after, who did I fight before that? After the Amber Williams fight, you're getting phone calls left, right, and saying, jump out here, yo, this, that, the other. And then after the Adames fight, it's like, it didn't stop, but it's a lot It's a lot less. It's a lot less. And then after the Edgar Berlanga fight, it's like, yo,
they came back.
Yeah. So it's good to see.
Came back.
It's good to see because you hear a lot of fighters talk about it. You hear a
all
lot
the
of fighters
time.
talk about it.
All the time.
And not until you truly live it and have experienced it, you can understand
How
what it's
real
like.
it is.
So
Wow.
it's quite amusing.
Yeah, I mean, I think in any genre, anything that you do, not just boxing, if you reach a certain level of success, whether it's basketball, any sport, there's always going to be leeches to
It's
to
part
latch
of
on.
the parcel, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
There's a learning experience like that fight for you.
Yeah,
in that regard.
massive, yeah.
So you speak about your circle getting smaller and smaller throughout your career. Now, I remember the first person that introduced me to you was Ricky Funez, who that was your head trainer at one time.
Yeah.
He used to send me DMs, like, look out for this dude. Now. And doing the research, I was like, oh, this kid's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Then he saw it too, he was like, yo, this guy is scary, you know what I mean? And you remember that, right? That was years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so what happened there? Because that was part of your circle, and he was championing you. How did that split happen?
After the Adamas fight. And what kind of gets misinterpreted is that I blamed him for the draw.
Of course.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's all we're gonna see. That's why we gotta add.
But I've never said that. And it was just for me. I feel like I needed a change. That was it.
No, but you don't have to say that. People are gonna assume that.
No,
anyway.
but still, even now that you're saying that, you said you needed a change. Why? Because of the draw?
It was.
Because in every retrospect, that is blaming him.
No, it was leading up to that. It was leading up to that. It was. And I spoke to him about trying to change up a few things and whatnot, and ultimately I didn't feel like it was a change. And it was like a build-up, and then eventually I said, all right, cool, I need a change now.
So you spoke to him about doing like what different, like adding somebody else?
Just trying to switch it up a little bit, different like routine and whatnot. But I get where he was coming from at the time, because why fix it if it's not broken?
Is that what he was saying?
Ultimately, yeah, more or less.
Right. So what was it like? Because I kind of understand what he's saying, but if the fighter's feeling a certain way, we got to lean towards that too. So was it a mental thing or what? Because you're killing everybody.
Yeah, I think it was more of a routine thing. I used to go to camp and look forward to going to it because I didn't know what to expect. And then
it got boring.
Yeah, basically, more or less, and without being disrespectful. But then I understand where he's coming from as well.
Did you get what you were looking for when you flipped?
Yeah, because it was like completely different, bro. Completely different, and it was so different to a point where I was questioning my change.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? Before the fight, like, I was questioning it, like, have I made the right decision? Because of how different it was. Yeah.
You want it different, now it's different. And you're like, oh, God.
But this was, like, dramatically different. Do you know what I mean? There's normally you think, like, if we're talking percentages, you're talking 20, 30% different. This was, like, 80, 90% different.
So there was nothing that you could have done with Ricky? I mean, how did it just end? Did you say,
Why are you forcing him to go back to Ricky?
No, because I still don't have an explanation how he actually left.
Yeah.
Was it like a text or a call?
It was a phone call. I got my... One thing I did do wrong was I didn't call him myself, because I'll be honest with you, I couldn't get myself to do it. And that's the truth. And it's wrong.
Wait, now look, because you just said earlier, Conor should have
had
had that talk with Eddie. That's a hard talk, bro.
But in my defense, I never claimed the brotherhood and whatnot, which Eddie and Conor have. I never claimed that. It was just like a coach and fighter relationship. You see what I mean?
Okay, different.
So it was never like how they come across. So that was one thing that
somebody else called him?
My father. Because he would organise the camp, and he's the one who, do you know what I mean, got it with Ricky. So I got him to do it.
What did he do on speakerphone? Were you on the side?
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there, bro. I wasn't there.
So what did your father say his response was?
It was cool. It was
Oh,
cool.
he's
a good dude.
Ricky, listen, I can't sit here and disrespect him. I never would.
Did he contact you after the Berlanga fight, congratulating you?
Nothing.
See, with me, that's when I feel like things are cool. Like if you love, if you got love for a fighter or a person and you see him succeed, sending that extent. That's me. That's my opinion. I'm not throwing a shot at him.
No, what he's saying is true. But you know you would do the same thing.
What do you mean? No.
If you train this guy, you got him this far, and then he leaves, you're not calling him saying, hey, good stuff.
No.
You're not wishing no bad on him, but you ain't doing that.
Congrats.
You're not
Good
even
win.
doing.
I would do that. I would do
You
that. I would do
don't do
that.
that on the littlest level. That's a straight cap, right? That's a lie. Stop. Before we end this whole thing right
don't
here.
follow me. I'm not a good example. I'm saying that's what should be done. So you might run into him though soon, right?
Yeah. There's nothing but respect from my side. And I've said it in interviews before. I said, after that Berlanga fight, I said, ultimately some of the stuff I done from that fight was from what he taught me.
You said that without being asked.
Yeah, without being asked, because it's the truth. It's the truth. Mm-hmm. I trained trainers in Andy Lee, and the game plan we had was different. 100%, it was completely different. But I done some stuff I learned with Ricky in that fight as well.
Do you think you'll end your career with Andy Lee?
Yeah. And I can...
You probably said that about Ricky at one point.
No, I never said that about Ricky. I've never said that about a coach before. Never, ever said that about a coach before. And after I done this camp with Andy Lee, I said it in one interview. I said, this is the man I see myself ending my career.
Is it like a brotherhood?
It's different. And I've never got on with a coach like I have with Andy Lee.
Yeah.
He's not just a coach to me. He's a friend. He's a brother. I speak to him outside of camp. He's a mentor, and most importantly, he's a teacher. And I've never had that before. Like when I first went there, we didn't hit the pads or nothing. He goes, yo, let's go for a walk. Went for a walk, and then... Not without even realising he was extracting information from me to understand me as a person before he understands me as a fighter.
Yeah.
And now I look back on it, he's probably still got loads more techniques and whatnot to work on with me. But yeah, a great man. Great
and he has this tremendous belief in you, right? Like just working with you with just one camp. So, you know, there's no proof of concept of how you and him work.
Yeah.
And the way he talked about what's going to happen in the Berlanga fight and all that. Like, it has to feel good to have somebody that you just started working with have this tremendous confidence in you.
Yeah, when the fight got put to us, when the Berlanga fight got put to us, I asked him, I said, what do you think? I said, what do you think? He goes, let's take it. He goes, let's go, let's take it. He goes, it's a great fight for you, because I believe in you. If we train, if you train properly, if we execute the correct game plan, he goes, you punch hard enough to knock this guy out. And he said it. He said it, and then I remember mid-camp, he goes, I'm telling you now, he goes, you're going to knock him out.
What about after you came to the stool after the first round? Like, did he see anything?
He was composed. Like, I must have lost the first few rounds.
Right.
And he was really composed because he saw me in sparring, he saw how I was working, trying to adapt to new things, a new stance and new feet placement and whatnot. And he said in the corner, he goes, don't worry, he goes, you're going to get into it. It's cool, Chew, he goes, you're going to get into it.
So did he give you a specific instruction on making an adjustment? Because I think Edgar did. I saw Edgar having some success, right? So I saw a drastic adjustment from you,
because
right?
after one of the, I can't remember if it was third or fourth round, I come back to the corner and I said to him, I go, yo, I can stick it on him. I go, I'm going to stick it on him, he's breaking. And he goes, go and do it then.
What made you feel that way? Because
we had an exchange, can't remember when, and I pushed him a little bit and I could hear him breathing a little bit. I could hear him breathing heavier and heavier and heavier. And I thought, yo, forget boxing this guy. I'm going to fight this guy and I'm going to beat him at his own game. So then I come back to the corner, I said it to him, I go, yo, I'm going to stick it on him. He goes, do it. He goes, if you're going to do it, he goes, do it properly. So then switched it up, and then when I hit him with that left hook that wobbled him, you can't hear it, but he was like, oh shit. I heard him say it.
Oh, really?
And I was like, nah, he's finished, bro.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever leave Andy Lee, this is going to be a meme. So I'm going to let you know right now. But no one ever says anything bad about Andy Lee, by the way. He is a great guy. You know, one time we asked Usyk, we was like, all right, what's your favorite music right now? And he was like, I'm listening to Tupac. So he pulled out his phone. He was like, listen, pulled out his phone. Yeah. And he plays a Dr. Dre song, but he didn't know. What you listening to right now?
I was this morning I was listening to, there's a British artist called M. Huncho.
Okay.
And he's got a new one he just dropped about a week ago called Championships.
So British. But did you ever listen to any American hip-hop artists? Rap?
I'll be honest with you, not really. Nah, yeah, bro.
Yo, every British person I speak to so far,
it's not like I'm going to sit here and lie, like, yo, listen to him.
At least you're being honest.
I look stupid, but nah, man.
Did you listen to any music as a kid?
Yeah, all
just
British. Yeah,
no,
British.
he was boring, remember? So would you want that rapper to walk you out?
Listen, I've had one of my favourite UK rappers walk me out in about 2 or 3 fights ago.
Oh, okay.
His name was Morrison, he was good.
After the Berlanga fight, there was talks of you fighting Canelo. I don't know, just people, right? Like, was that fight ever at reach?
Yeah, it was nearly done. It was nearly done. It was meant to happen, but then he had the elbow surgery.
Really?
I was meant to be his, I think, comeback fight.
And was that Turkey Al-Sheikh putting that fight together?
Yeah, of course. He planted the seed way before, like way many...
So his comeback fight after the Bud loss, the Crawford loss.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be, and then he got his surgery, and then he chose to fight Mbilli.
What did Andy feel about that matchup?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't really speak to him about it. I haven't spoke to Andy about that fight, because until it happens, then I'll speak to him.
But if it presents itself, you're taking it with no questions asked.
Why wouldn't I take it?
At this point,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you always feel like he was ready, or do you feel like you
when
saw something?
when the fight first got put to me, and Turkey said it to me, I think it was after Emma Williams, I was like, yo, a bit soon, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I was thinking that, but now I'm like, I don't think I could be more ready.
Is that because of what you saw with Terence Crawford, or just
No,
because of what you're doing?
No, I thought he'd beat Crawford. I had him down to beat Crawford, and I was extremely wrong.
We didn't.
But no, it was just, you know, I think a fighter can explain, but there's a certain time in your career where you feel like you're not invincible, but you could put on a good fight with anyone. So, and I feel like I'm getting to that stage.
Who would be your toughest fight? Just according to the eye test out there.
My toughest fight? Do you know what? I think someone like and people might say I'm wrong, but someone like a Caleb Plant would be an interesting fight because of his IQ. Do you see what I mean?
That's
because of his IQ. And he's someone I've been watching. I mean, I've been watching him for a long time.
He just left that chair.
Yeah.
Pardon?
He just left that chair.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So
No way.
interesting.
Yeah. So someone like him, I think.
Do you have this competitive nature in you, in being the biggest star in your country? Like, do you have when you look at Conor Benn, who massive fight against Eubank, won big, and people are saying he's the next big star after AJ. Yeah. Do you want to fill those shoes?
Yeah, but I want to be like I'm not throwing shade on Conor, but I want to be an honest boxing, true, purist kind of star.
Like a gentleman type of.
Not so much that, but someone who's fought the best, who's beat the best, and who's won championships and titles and whatnot. Like a Shakur Stevenson.
Right.
Just someone like who's
Terence Crawford,
who's beat the best.
Right.
Not who's bigger outside of the ring than they are inside of the ring, if that kind of makes sense.
Who's the top, now that Terence is gone, who's your top 3 pound-for-pound fighters, the best fighters in the world right now?
Shakur Stevenson, Bam, and... Do I go with Usyk? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Usyk.
Over Inoue?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, it's funny, those two fighters are my top 2 as well, Shakur and Bam. Give me your next 3 opponents, if you can have it in your way, in the order you want them in. No, forget about promoters, networks, anything like that. What 3 fighters you would love to fight next?
So whoever I'm fighting for, the WBO, whoever this German is,
right.
Him.
You don't even know his name.
Yeah. No, for real. And I want to unify.
Right.
Who's got the belts at the minute in the division? The WBA is with Resendez.
Yeah.
Him, the winner out of him and whoever he's fighting next, and then.
You want to be undisputed, basically.
For real.
Right.
For real.
So is that more important to you than the big fights, the big money name fights?
I think if listen, the money is great and whatnot.
Right.
I'm not saying, I don't want the money and whatnot. But if I'm speaking from the young Hamzah Sheeraz who wanted to be this champion, I think it'd only be right to honour my younger self.
Yeah. The money comes with that anyway.
Yeah.
So if you had those options presented at you, win a world title, undisputed title, or fight Canelo, right? But not win a title. And I'm using Canelo, I know that's like the pinnacle because that's a lot of money, probably too much to turn down.
Yeah.
But you would choose the legacy fights.
It'd be hard, I'd think about it a lot, but probably would choose the undisputed.
Titles.
Yeah. Because that's like a true accomplishment, isn't it?
Wow, you know,
you can never take that away from you.
Never.
Do you see what I mean? Even if you went in there,
we just had this debate. It's funny that we're talking about Conor because Conor was on our show in New York. Conor's a friend of ours as well in our studio in New York, and we had the same exact debate. And he chose the other side.
The money.
Right. But I was in agreement with him because at the end of the day, you know, when this sport is done, right, like pleasing the fans and the belts are great, but they're not going to take care of your kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
That was not the debate.
Right. That was a debate. That was a debate.
They kept acting like I was saying, oh, just go for the belt, not the money. Yeah. You make money no matter what.
No.
So what are you talking
other
about?
Fights make way more money. Like,
but then it all depends what you want to be remembered for, right?
Oh, my boy. You know what I mean? That's what my boy came to.
Think about it, though.
Listen,
because look, when it's all said and done, and you're like, let's say 100 years down the line when you're dead and buried.
Right.
Ultimately, unless you're an Elon Musk, a billionaire or someone, no one's gonna remember how much money you had.
Right.
I told him that. No, but he's saying about his children. Yeah. He's saying, oh, I want my children to be good, but they're gonna be good no matter who you
they're
fight.
Not gonna have nothing.
All right. In Conor's defense, he said, how many ex-world champions we know that don't have a pot to piss in?
Yeah.
And the WBC, shout out to them, their foundation has to help them pay their bills and bury
But
them.
you see where the argument is with that is the money in boxing today wasn't what it was back then. Do you see what I mean?
That's true. And I'm not saying that there's no value in legacy and belts, and I feel like both things can be done. Yeah. I was just referring to
that's what I was saying.
One option, and the argument was Shakur. Him and Shakur got in the ring after the Teofimo fight, and which can be a massive fight in London, or like let's say fighting a Barrios. I know that he might not be champion anymore, but I'm saying. And I would say, let's choose the big name now, because you could always go back and get those belts,
Not
but
always.
The big money fights.
You see that face?
Listen,
talking about nothing right now.
No, maybe not. But also, maybe that big money fight might not be there as well.
Yeah.
But listen,
you're fighting for a title. That's a money fight,
bro.
Make $8 million or $10 million.
Bro, we said the same thing with, and we got to get out of here. But I know we said the same thing with Tank accepting a fight against Jake Paul, right? Which was like $40 million, right? More money than he's ever made. Yeah. People were attacking him for not wanting the rematch with Roach, right? To kind of, people felt he lost that fight.
I feel like them exhibition fights are
separate.
Different.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
Well, he still got attacked for it.
Compare.
And people were talking about legacy.
Yeah, that's different.
All right? Different. But I respect what you're saying, but if those numbers are right, you know what I'm saying, you got to consider that. That's all I'm saying. Big money fights. But I get you.
Each to their own, innit?
Get your championship, brother.
That's it, bro.
Get your championship. Thank you for coming to Ring Champ.
Hamzah Sheeraz, bro. Here at the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. The most amazing hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. And this is where Ring Champs have brought the show to On the Road. Peace and love. Stay safe.